Warning! This video contains spoilers for the Big Finish production, Doctor Who, The Lovecraft Invasion. Viewing beyond this point is a choice you have made, and you take responsibility for that choice. Thank you, and please have a great day.
Warning: the following video contains explicit language, which may be offensive to some viewers or inappropriate for children. The content within this video is intended for mature audiences only.
Hello and welcome to this video. I hope everyone is doing alright, I hope everyone is doing okay, and I hope the universe is treating you fairly. Today we are going to jump right back into Doctor Who, The Lovecraft Invasion. We should be finishing it out. I believe this is only a three-parter. Hope you're enjoying your October so far. Hope, you got the whole spooky vibe going. Hope you're enjoying the spooky vibe. Some people that, Halloween and spooky is not their thing. So, But, let's get on with it. Let's do this. And let's let her rip. Maybe. Got the opening music here, which if you don't mind, we're just going to skip. There we go.
I don't believe it! Ghouls!
What are they?
They're ghouls! Flesh-eating fiends that feast on men! Dozens of them!
Yeah, ghouls. I mean, things trying to eat you were, pretty awful.
Ghouls, eh? Are they bulletproof?
Don't shoot!
Why not?
Because they will kill you, and then they will kill me and Mrs. Clark.
Any other suggestions?
Yes, I'll try reasoning with them.
Mr. Lovecraft.
It's all right, Mrs.
That's, I mean, even growing up, just my mom is a child of the West Coast. My father was a child of the East Coast, of Northeast Coast. My mom's from Washington State, and my father's from Pennsylvania. And what's funny is that stereotype of the New Englander trying to reason with the undead or something like that. That stereotype is how my mom growing up always described the Northeast Coast. Everything from Maryland north. They had this unrealistic, wanting to be able to talk to anything. Ghouls, vampires, demons. Great old Cthulhu to reason with them. And it's just one of those things that particular part just kind of triggered that memory.
Doing. Good morning. My name is Howard Lovecraft. I wish to speak to your leader, if you have one. Oh, hello.
Would you get back here?
It's all right. I'm sure it's fine. How do you do? I was wondering, do I have the pleasure of addressing the ghoul formerly known as Mr. Richard Upton Pickman? You were Pickman once, weren't you? Richard Upton Pickman.
Yep, that's that, like I said, it's that Northeastern, that stereotype that, and I love the fact that they're using it in this period context. That the people from the Northeast are just that confident in themselves.
Painted nightmare scenes of feeding and cavorting ghouls, which terrified the Boston Art Club.
You know, you got the possible end of the world, and they're worried about the Boston Art Club. That's just that, especially for that time period. Probably not so much today, but that time period, that, you know, that aristocratic, you know, the world might end. That's not a big deal, but, you know, we got to save the art club.
Pickman. Incredible. Just as I imagined you. Listen to me, gentlemen.
Imagine that. Something out of your imagination that is just like the way you imagined it.
You don't belong here. Therefore, if it isn't too much trouble, I would ask you to go back whence you came in a civilized and orderly fashion. It's really much nicer there this time of year anyway.
That didn't seem to do us much good, Howard. But what now?
Hello there!
Doctor? Oh, Doctor!
Hi, Connie!
Oh, and Flip! Oh, thank goodness. Doctor!
It's, you gotta love this though. It's great. It has that flavor to it. That, yes, this is a quote-unquote spooky horror type story, but at the same time, it keeps the charm and the English comedic tones to it. It's wonderful what Big Finish has done for Doctor Who. Maybe in November I'll do a non-Doctor Who drama, and we can experience that together.
I might ask you the same thing. One moment. Mr. Carter?
Pickman, old man. Come on back. You've no business that way. And it looks like slim pickings anyhow.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome, ma'am. Randolph Carter at your service. Carter?
Doctor, how are we even talking now?
Flip and I are part of the manifested psionic projection, which means the somnifact is getting stronger. Can you seal this breach up again?
Yeah.
You might want to let the doctor know that you had to fiddle with the brain cap and shorten the time period that they have to fix everything. I'm thinking that might be relevant information. Just saying, no judgment.
It has its limits. Pretty soon, nothing's going to stop these things breaking through permanently.
Then just keep sealing the breaches as they appear. We need all the time you can buy us to try to separate the author from his work. And yes, I did just say that. By the way, where are Flip and I on your side?
Oh, safely comatose at Mr. Lovecraft's house.
You mean you left us unattended?
We've been busy.
Doctor, what about me? Is there anything I might do to help?
Just cooperate with Calypso and Mrs. Clark, and do everything they say. We're dealing with it.
Look, I better seal this thing up before it burns out the inhibitor.
Yeah, that's probably a good thing. But yeah, I still think they should have let the doctor know that their time has been reduced. Though I wonder how time, when you're in somebody's imagination like that, you're lucid in somebody else's imagination, how time passes is, an hour, minute, day, and reality like years or eons. In the dream, I mean, what is the ratio, or is it a 1-to-1 time, or is it a 1-to-1 passage of time?
Hold still, Howard. Good luck, Doctor.
Incredible.
That was a near thing with those dogmen, wasn't it?
They're not dogmen, Flip. They're ghouls. Not bad fellows, really, once you get to know them. Yes,
it's, you gotta love that. It's just that oh god, they're not bad fellows. They're ghouls that'll eat you, but they're really not that bad. You gotta love that kind of comedic touch to a story. Yeah, it is kind of crazy. And I better go ahead and remind people that due to copyright algorithms and the way copyright works, that's the reason why we're getting these breaks. And I don't mind it, just because there are people out there that, if they didn't have such stringent copyright stuff going on YouTube, people would abuse it and basically steal money. So yeah, it's six one way, half dozen the other.
Both you surprise me. Seems not everything here has yet been turned against us.
Thank you, I think.
Well, it gives me hope at least. But a psionic breach that size is still a bad sign. How much further to this place you're taking us, Carter?
It's not much further. Doctor,
Yeah?
that was him, wasn't it? You're Mr. Lovecraft, I mean.
Yes, it was.
And that was your world we saw. The outside.
Yes. That was our version of Providence.
And he's...
So that's interesting that this character, this Mr. Carter, is aware that he may just be... That's something I had forgotten about. It's been forever. Like I said in the last video, it's been a while since I've listened to this drama. But yeah, that's kind of a cool wrinkle.
Novelist?
Same as you.
Incredible.
You okay, Mr. Carter?
It's quite all right, my dear. It's just not every day you find out God's a Yankee.
You gotta love that. Which is interesting. I need to go back and reread some of my H.P. Lovecraft novellas and stuff. Just because I don't remember Carter being, that Southern. I mean, mind you, that's a relative, especially in 1937. But that whole thing of finding that whole line of it's not every day you find out that God's a Yankee. that just for some reason tickles me.
I hadn't expected Randolph Carter to be so handsome.
If you do say so yourself.
What do you mean?
Oh, come off it. You're the dead spit of each other.
Hardly.
Yes, well, as scintillating as this is, we really should be getting back.
Seconded. Come on, Howard. You heard what the doctor said. You're to do whatever we say.
Very well.
I think if I was to have a imaginary alter ego like that, I would imagine him to be a whole lot better looking than this right here. This isn't real flattering, so just me.
Sufferance.
Uh-oh.
What now?
There's another psionic build-up forming to the northeast.
Another breach?
A big one.
How far to the northeast?
About 2 kilometers. Why?
Oh, no.
What?
Not there. Please, not there.
Of course. Is that where...
Yes.
What are we talking about exactly?
Haven't you noticed, Calypso? These breaches keep occurring at places with which he has an especially strong emotional bond.
Good.
Because of course he does. Of course they do, And that just kind of adds a little bit of flavor to the story. So yeah.
Spot, Mrs. C.
I knew it. Somehow I knew it. If this Somnifax is to break through to our world anywhere, of course it would be there.
Where?
Butler Hospital.
Butler Hospital. That's interesting because that's where his father died and his mom died. Yeah. I had read a thing here the other day, because doing these videos for, doing this, I went and did a little bit of my own research. Evidently, it's thought that Lovecraft's father, he was a goldsmith, or he worked with gold and silver and precious metals and stuff. And at that time, mercury was one of the components they used when they worked metals like that. And arsenic and other really non-friendly to human being chemicals. And they didn't know, and they did it without gloves or any kind of PPE. And that's what they think led to his father losing his mind, and the trauma from that affected his mom and adversely affected him. Multi-generational trauma. That's just kind of cool. Well, no, multi-generational trauma is not cool. It's just how it's worked into the story, how that, things that we can now that we have the technology, we can go back and look at the, how things, chemicals, things in nature, things in this, things that we mix together can lead to multi-generational trauma, and it was woven into the story. That's what's cool. The trauma itself is not, it's bad. I need to clarify that for anybody watching this video and any algorithms perusing it.
You can take a minute. We've reached the top.
Thank you. I can't say it's the friendliest spot, I must say.
Yeah, sounds like he's a little bit winded.
I much preferred the suburbs of Ulthar, back in the valley. It had such lovely cats.
Which is interesting that they mentioned that. Lovecraft himself was supposed to have had an affinity for the four-legged feline. So, in fact, I believe he named his cat after an Egyptian pharaoh or an Egyptian god or something. It had a really weird name. I might look it up while we have a listening sequence. I don't know.
Huh? This is the Plateau of Lang, on the very edge of the Dreamlands. It's a place where numerous realities converge, so don't wander too far alone.
Oh, good tip. Thanks.
Well, it's good to have, an imaginary person in somebody's imagination giving you advice on how to survive the imagination.
So, do you mean all these ruined archways scattered about lead to different places?
So the legends tell. I've never been this way before myself.
And you think one of these will lead us to the Somnifax?
That's my hunch.
But which one?
I have no idea. I was hoping you outsiders could tell me.
Ah, yes. I see.
That's interesting. That this imaginary character inside this person is wanting the advice of outsiders, seeing how is xenophobic or xenophobic, if you're really sure, whatever, or maybe Canadians, as Lovecraft was. That's interesting.
This is going to take some thinking about.
And I like these musical transitions that they have for the for the
Good luck, Doctor.
No,
going
not
from
yet.
the A to the B story.
We've been idling here too long.
The Doctor always gets there in the end. You'll see.
And if he doesn't?
Then the thing that has invaded this world will cause it to spill out into ours.
The world you and your Mr. Lovecraft come from.
Yes.
Tell me about him,
About Lovecraft.
please.
Well, what do you want to know?
What's his writing like, for starters?
Mr. Carter, all this, is his writing.
That's interesting. That he's doing it. Well, that's one thing about the Doctor in the show and stuff is he was always honest. Or is always honest. So yeah.
Much. And I suppose that includes me.
It does.
I hope his books are popular then.
They will be. Not so much in his lifetime, though.
Oh, pity. I served in the French Foreign Legion during the Great War. Did he? Or
Nope.
was that a hell he only put me through?
He applied for the National Guard, but was declared unfit for service.
Huh.
See, which I find interesting, and it, because at this time in American history, the whole unquestioned patriotic thing was going, and I imagine him getting rejected for the military service probably was devastating. Especially during World War One, in the aftermath, being the Great War, the war to end all wars, and all this nonsense, or what proved to be nonsense, because it was definitely not the war to end all wars, but the whole thing with especially the tide of early 20th century American exceptionalism, I imagine it was devastating for Lovecraft to be rejected like that.
Say I'm grateful to him for that one then. But he did go to Miskatonic.
Miskatonic University is an invention of his. I believe he had aspirations of going to Brown, but it never happened.
Then it...
Yeah, I don't think Lovecraft actually made it to college, or university. I still think at that time, at that point in the 20th century, we kind of paralleled the English in referring to a university having multiple colleges within the university, where now in the modern vocabulary we use college generically, because that's what university means. It's unified colleges. Like Sam Houston State, you've got the College of Criminal Justice, you got the Teaching College, you've got the Radio, Television, Theater College. It's the University of Sam Houston State, or Sam Houston State University, and you have the individual colleges, which I think in this part of the 20th century, we were paralleling we were still parallel with the English and referring to university as university, where I believe they call it uni now, but it is what it is.
wish fulfillment figure of a disappointed man.
That may have been his reason for writing you, Mr. Carter, but you can't help but be more than that.
Got
Who
a
knows?
point.
It's funny. The so-called mad Arab hinted that the universe was merely a dream of a blind idiot god called Azathoth, and that if he ever awoke, it would all vanish. Who'd have thought that all this time Azathoth was an author in New England? Excuse me.
Interesting, interesting.
Should you have told him all that, Doctor?
I felt like I owed him the truth, Flip. Besides, he was already beginning to suspect.
That's one of the things that you you have to admire about Doctor Who. Like the show, dislike the show, love it, hate it, whatever. That the character of the Doctor, all the way from the first incarnation, all the way up through the incarnation in October of 2025, each and every incarnation had this vein of honesty in them. They had to be totally honest. Now, the Seventh Doctor was kind of coy in it and kind of manipulative in the words that he used, but he was always honest. You had to think about the meaning of the words the Seventh Doctor used. You had to clearly understand the meaning of words, because he was kind of a trickster, kind of a Loki type persona of the Doctor.
Forget, we shouldn't let him stray too far. Come on!
Look, I found a statue.
Oh, nice.
Fascinating.
Humanoid body, octopoid head, dragon wings. I take it you know what it represents.
Yeah, Cthulhu.
You know your elder gods, my girl.
I know my cuddly toys.
That's interesting, because I remember just before I met my wife, about probably a year or two before I met her, that at least here in East Texas, there's this great big Cthulhu. This would be 2007, 2006, right in there. Because I met her in 9. We dated 10. We married in 11. We dated in 10 and 9. We were engaged in 10. We dated in 9. We met at the latter part of 8. So yeah, and it was 5 or 6, right in there, 2005, 2006. That at least here in East Texas, there's this huge revival of H.P. Lovecraft, Cthulhu. You had Cthulhu plushies, Cthulhu pillows, and all this crazy stuff. So yeah, that's interesting. And this was written and produced and came out in 2020. So that's kind of cool.
Cthulhu. One of the most formidable deities in Lovecraft's pantheon.
What would his idol be doing all the way out here?
Do you know, I'm not so sure that idol would be the best term for this particular sculpture. I'm more inclined to call it a threshold guardian. An equivalent of the ancient Chinese Men Shen. See? You'd almost miss that archway there because of it.
Interesting. The Chinese protector dog things. He compares Cthulhu to that. That's kind of cool.
I really don't like the look of that one, Doctor.
Neither do I, but ask yourself, of all the archways on this plateau, isn't the least inviting also the most likely? Carter, Flip, I think it's this way.
So yeah, I guess it boils down to the once you remove everything that's impossible, whatever is left, however improbable, has to be the truth. Thanks, Sir Conan Doyle coined that phrase.
Flip, Carter, Flip. of packing crate, by the feel of it.
Flip, my dear, would you mind moving your elbow?
Oh, sorry.
Look, keep still, both of you. If I can get some purchase with my foot, I must be able to... Get us out.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. This whole, I imagine like a box, like maybe a 4x4 wooden crate like you see in warehouses, like in movies. Like at the end of the Raiders of the Lost Ark movie, when they're panning out and you see all those crates. That's kind of what I picture in my brain.
We're on a ship.
Oh, this is just getting weird and trippy now.
Oh, chin up. At least now, hopefully, we're back on the...
I love that term, chin up. I was a little kid when I first came across that term. In Charlotte's Web, I was like 6, 7 years old. And I believe my mom had read Charlotte's Web to me and my little sister. It was before the cartoon, the animated TV special. So yeah, that was interesting. I've always liked that term.
Trail of the Somnifax. Now look, Lively, let's go up on deck and find out where we are.
I believe there's a ship in the Mountains of Madness novel, or not novel, novella, a short story. I can't remember. I don't know. I think it's too long to be a short story. It might be a novella, but it might be a short story. I don't remember.
Lost in the fog is where we are, Doc.
And on a steam yacht, by the look of it.
Where are the crew?
Hello? Ahoy!
You're very nautical.
Well, it was worth a go.
What's funny, there's a audio drama with this doctor called Doctor Who and the Pirates, and that one is just pure comedy, but that's just the way he said that, just kind of kicked in that memory.
In place at any rate. Let's try the bridge. No one.
What do you think happened here?
The mind boggles, Carter.
Another shog-off, maybe?
Let's hope not.
What are you looking for?
Well, if the ship entered this fog bank while the crew was still aboard, they should have made a record in the log. That might at least tell us something.
See, that's another thing I love about Big Finish. The detail to the background noises, like flipping the pages, walking down a hallway, opening, closing doors. There's really, really nice touches that give it that little bit of extra life, which kind of sets the audio dramas just above an audiobook. And I love audiobooks, don't get me wrong. My eyes have gone to hell, and anytime I read now for prolonged periods of time, I get really splitting headaches. So the audiobooks I love audiobooks, don't get me wrong. I also like things like Kindles and stuff like that, where you can adjust the font, make the font bigger. Can't do that in a hard copy book as much as I love my hard copy books. But yeah, there's just those background noises are just really nice.
Aha! Coordinates. Our destination, perhaps?
Go on.
South latitude 47 degrees 9 minutes. West longitude 126 degrees 43 minutes.
That puts us slap bang in the middle of the South Pacific. Well, there's nothing here. Just ocean for thousands of miles.
Oh, somehow I don't think we're going to be that lucky.
just Colin Baker, he just, when it comes to stuff like that, or, you know, like in the last video where the doctor's like, of course, you know, of course it is, or of course they're going to do this. And like this comment, he's like, yeah, we're not going to get that lucky. It just, Colin Baker's, he can convey so much in his voice. It's just wonderful.
What was it?
A stone pillar. It's sticking out of the sea.
Doctor, I think we better find a way to stop this thing before we run aground.
Maybe.
Too late! Hold on!
Now, if I remember correctly, the elder gods all lived under the ocean.
Well, at least we've stopped.
This island shouldn't be here, Doctor.
Imagine
I
that.
believe it was until very recently. It's been pushed to the surface by seismic activity.
Well, you know where we are then?
Well, you should too, Flip. If you know your Call of Cthulhu half as well as you said you did. This is the nightmare corpse city of Relia, or Relia, or Relier. I really have no idea how it's pronounced.
That's me in a lot of words. A lot of my videos, you can see that.
It spent millennia on the seabed, and now it's risen for some occult purpose.
Whatever this place is called, Doc, is there a plan?
We get off the ship and make our way to the summit.
I think it's a necropolis, to be honest with you.
If the Somnifax is to be found anywhere on this island, it'll be there.
How much farther?
Another 100 feet, maybe. Listen.
Drums. Now then, we're on the right track.
I know that's good and all, but what are we going to do when...
Flip, stop!
Yeah, what are we gonna do? We're getting there now. What are we gonna do? What's our plan?
What?
That outcrop of rock you were about to climb on. It's a chasm.
What? No way.
Some sort of naturally occurring forced perspective. I forgot to warn you both. This place doesn't quite obey the laws of physics as we know them.
Which, that's... If you've ever lucid dreamed or woken up with a memory of a dream really fresh in your head that lasts, that you're able to keep, you know, locked down, it's one of those things that the dream world has its own rules and your subconscious makes them up on the fly.
Where you tread.
Thanks. Better telling us late than never, Doc.
Yeah, cheers for that.
Yes. Well, shall we go on?
That drum beat, it's just kind of infectious.
Come to me, O deep ones. Come to me, O sons of Father Dagon and daughters of Mother Hydra. The sleeper shall awake.
That kind of reminds me of Carl McLaughlin in the '84 Doom movie. When he stands up and he's like in the middle of the desert. He's like, "Father, the sleeper has awakened." That's just kind of what that reminds me of.
This is the place, all right.
Yeah, quite the fancy dress party, isn't it?
What are those fishy frogs then?
Those will be the deep ones, Flip. An amphibious race of near immortals.
That worship Cthulhu.
Julie knows.
And in one of Lovecraft's novels, they breed with humans. In fact, in Alan Moore's Providence Compendium, we get that hint. We get that interspecies breeding.
To be our guy, hasn't it? The Goth Pharaoh at 12 o'clock?
Oh, without a doubt.
That's no pharaoh, Flip. That's Nyarlathotep, the crawling chaos himself.
Oh, it's worse than that, Mr. Carter. That's the Somnifax, in the guise of Nyarlathotep.
Yeah, say that 5 times fast while sober. Could you imagine trying to say that 5 times really fast after like about 3 or 4 beers? That would be fun.
The Necronomicon.
So it is.
What's he up to with it?
Well, remember that bookmark passage we saw in the college library? It was an incantation to summon the great dreamer.
Oh, no. Of course.
Precisely. The Somnifax means to summon Cthulhu.
And that's bad, right?
Oh, yeah, that's bad.
It'll mean the end of everything, Flip, in both our worlds.
Not if I can help it.
Well, that's the spirit, Mr. Carter.
So what do we do?
Well, first of all, we have to get that book away from him.
How?
Give me a minute, I'll think of something.
And another thing that makes Colin Baker's Doctor even more special is when Peter Davison was the 5th Doctor, they did away with the sonic screwdriver, so he doesn't have that crutch to fall on like Petwee's Doctor and Tom Baker's Doctor. So he's got to do this all with his brain and his hands and the help of his companions. He doesn't, the 6th Doctor, the 7th Doctor, and I think for the most part the 8th Doctor don't have that crutch of having the sonic screwdriver.
Any sign of a breach?
Not yet, but there's one brewing. The biggest yet.
Inside the hospital?
Yeah, it's definitely the epicenter.
Then we'd better get in there and find it, hadn't we?
Come on, then. Come on, Howard, we're on the clock.
I can't.
Mr. Lovecraft, please.
No, I can't.
You're coming with us, whether you like it or not.
But I can't.
That's interesting because I like how they play that reality where in reality he was not mentally able or mentally prepared to enter that sanitarium, which his father and his mother resided in to their deaths. That's just, and I like how they weave that in.
And I fear what I might find there.
Leave this to me. Mr. Lovecraft, look at me. Calypso is brave enough to go in there. I am brave enough to go in there, and you will be brave enough to go in there. Now, come on.
Because you're a misogynist, and you're not going to let 2 females outdo you.
Good morning! Or is it afternoon? Hard to tell on this island, isn't it?
Ah, if it isn't the good doctor, you're harder to shake off than I imagine. Come to watch me end the world.
As a matter of fact, I was hoping I could talk you out of it.
I love that because he's within Colin Baker Colin Baker's real good at portraying the Doctor when he's got to bide for time so he can think of something or put something into play. He's good at doing that kind of dialogue.
To hear you try. What do you think of my current Thorne? I must say I'll be sorry to see it go. I rather like the outfit.
Bit of an Orientalist stereotype, don't you think?
Everyone's a critic.
Listen.
Yeah, see, that's cool though. You know how they drop those, like an eyedropper, dropping the modern sensibilities mixed in with the period sensibilities.
Stop this. I can help you.
Help me? On the contrary, you intend to return me to die in that bioweapons complex orbiting Titan. Tut tut, Doctor. The last time I checked, that's tantamount to murder.
Then perhaps we can find an alternative.
Alternatives? No, Doctor. My gracious host, the bounteous Mr. Lovecraft, has gifted me with such wonderful material. Fear of disease. Fear of madness. Fear of the other. It would be a mortal sin not to destroy his species with such beautiful terrors.
Yeah, only that right there, that is the epiphany of a bad guy who would consider something like Cthulhu the beautiful death or beautiful destruction.
Why destroy humanity at all?
Why? Why else? It's in my nature.
Well, is that all you can say?
What else is there to say? If you want to vent your moral outrage, Doctor, take it up with the psychogeneticists who coded me.
But they never intended you to be this powerful.
What my creators intended is irrelevant. Like the song says, Doctor, don't fence me in. Although very soon, no fence in creation will be able to hold me.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, this is getting dicey quick.
Yes. Once you become the great dreamer, Cthulhu.
None other. The perfect form in which to break through the...
Interesting how he pronounced Cthulhu, which I think's the actual proper pronunciation. Or a more European pronunciation because of the CTH combination. There's some really good, matter of fact, one I listen to, or YouTube channel, it's a reaction. It's done by a really charming Irish lady, and that TH combination in the Irish is... That's how his pronunciation of Cthulhu at that particular moment struck me.
To reality.
Aren't you forgetting something?
Pray enlighten me.
That incantation in the Necronomicon comes with a health warning, remember? The summoner is the sacrifice, and the banisher the feast. If you summon Cthulhu, you will be the sacrifice.
There it is, on the altar.
You stay here.
Yeah, yep. Buy in time so they can steal the book.
I'll grab it while the fish people are distracted.
But have you...
My trainers are quieter than those brogues of yours. Wait here.
And I thought you were an intelligent man.
I like that, trainers, because what we would call, or when I was growing up, we call them sneakers or tennis shoes. They call them trainers across the pond. And now, and like the last time I went to like a Foot Locker or something like that, you had this type of shoe, that type of shoe. To me, they all look like sneakers. But they all had, you know, this specific, that specific. And I'm like, I just want shoes.
When I awaken the High Priest of the Great Old Ones, this form shall indeed be sacrificed. But then great Cthulhu itself shall become my final avatar.
Oh, yes, I see your point. You've got it all worked out, haven't you, Nyarlathotep? Oh, and I do have one other question, though.
No more questions, Doctor. The time to... Caesar!
Oi! Get off!
Leave her alone!
And the man-hunter! Bring them to me now!
Ow!
Thieves! In the temple, huh? Dear, oh dear. A childish trick, Doctor. You try to distract me while your friends... Doctor! Doctor! He's taken the book! Find him!
Let them go, or I'll destroy it.
You can't hide, Doctor. And you know full well what that book represents in this manifestation of Lovecraft's psyche. Destroy it and you'll break his mind.
You think I would do it to save the world?
Perhaps you would at that.
And see, that's one thing about the Doctor. The Doctor tries not to kill, but then again, sometimes a hoe just gotta die, you know. Just, you know, sometimes it's gotta be like that.
Your young friend here so readily. Hold her up!
Ow! Don't listen to him, Doctor!
Doctor! You are a cunning and resourceful trickster. Just like me, but when you try to convince me of your ruthlessness, I see through you. It is not in your nature. When someone makes such a threat sincerely, their conviction shines through. Allow me to demonstrate. Give up the Necronomicon, Doctor, or your young friend dies. Well, am I sincere?
I like that, though. You know, the bad guy going, yeah, I'm going to do all this horrible stuff. And how was that? Was that convincing? You know, just that kind of arrogance and, you know, of I'm the bad guy and this is how you do that.
Yes, completely. You win, Somnipax.
Give me the book, Doctor.
Don't do it, Doctor, please.
No!
Sorry, Flip. You're not a price worth paying.
Thank you, Doctor. Tie them up! I wouldn't want them to miss the grand opening.
You're making a terrible mistake.
I have a feeling the Doctor did something to the book. Changed the wording or tore the page out or skipped something.
Doctor, I know precisely what I'm doing.
It's the end of the world as we know it.
Almost there.
See, Mr. Lovecraft? There's nothing to it.
If you say so.
Get a move on, Howard. We're running out of time. What's up with him now?
Mr. Lovecraft?
I don't know. I feel strange. Something's wrong.
The world's about to end and yeah, okay.
Fundui, Buklanafa, Cthulhu, Olye, Bukanaga, Vatagan.
This is definitely not good. I wish I still
You think?
have my gun.
What do we do, Doctor?
Oh, I'm sorry, Flip. We were too late. He's about to raise Cthulhu, and there's nothing more we can do to stop it.
Hiya! Hiya! Cthulhu! Vatagan! Hiya! Hiya! Cthulhu! Vatagan!
See, I wonder if they actually researched that, you know, or if they just kind of made it up for the drama. The incantation. Well, I guess this is a four-parter. Wow. I don't know. So yeah, we'll come back with part 4 at some point. Did not expect that. I was thinking this was a 3-parter for some reason. It is what it is, though. Not, you know, I'm not mad or anything. It's just another video, and which I think cramming October full of a bunch of videos is going to be fun. So yeah, it gives people something to do in October. Like I said in the first video, I think the video I did on the 1st of October, I said it, that the best part about October is Halloween, and the most importantly, East Texas is finally cooling off. And I found the name of H.P. Lovecraft's cat, and I am not sure how to pronounce it, so we're going to let the internet pronounce it for us. See what we get.
Nyarlathotep. Nyarlathotep.
And that is the name of H.P. Lovecraft's cat, according to Google. He also called it by a very unpopular name that we won't pronounce because it involves a word that I strongly detest. But yeah, so yeah, we're gonna have to edit. Well, you've probably seen by now a little blur edit, because the YouTube video that we got the audio from had a bunch of other stupid stuff going on with it. YouTube and their ads. So until next time, everybody, remember to be a good human, be good to other humans. Peace.
Hey, it's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are?